Hi, everyone. When I was growing up, there were 8 of us. Now that's, excuse me, that's quite an accomplishment for Mom to get Thanksgiving dinner together anyway. But that's how we learned to cook. We did what Mom told us. We learned how to peel potatoes. We learned how to make potato salad, mashed potatoes, any kind of potato you could name. We learned how to stuff a turkey, when to watch it, how to get it out, make pies, although I have to admit my sister outdid us all on pies the year that she made the pumpkin pie and forgot to take the paper out of the frozen pie crust, but that's another story. So, as we grew and the families started coming in, the families would come in and there would be brothers and sisters, and there would be nieces and nephews. They came in one family at a time and they started hugging, and we'd love on each other. And most of us would take some kind of food or drink to help with the Thanksgiving dinner that we were going to share with once everybody arrived. And there was just such a beautiful, joyous mood of reconnecting with those who we hadn't seen in quite a while. And, as the conversations started going on and people started gathering in little rooms and living room, the kitchen, the outside on the porch, whatever, the mood started changing. You'd hear one person, and these names are all made up, I don't use real names, but, well, where's Jimmy and his family? Someone would answer, oh, you know how they are. They never come to these family things unless it's a funeral. Someone else might say, well, what about Ethel and her husband? You haven't heard? Why, she left him for another man and they got a divorce last year and they've got that poor little baby and my goodness, what was she thinking? There's another aspect to this conversation too. It's did you see that casserole that Aunt Jenny brought? You would think she couldn't cook anything else. She brings it every time. So by the time we sat down to dinner, we were all so focused on what was going on wrong with the family that we had forgotten why we were there in the first place, which is to thank God for our blessings, for the food that's on the table, whether it's a casserole, whether it's a pecan pie, whether it's a turkey, whatever it is. And that the people are there. Did they come in late? I don't care. I was just so glad to see family. The Apostle Paul summed it up in Romans 1:25 when he was talking to the people of that time, the godless, unrighteous people of that time. And he reminded them, you know what? You're worshiping the created. You're looking at the created. The people, the food, anything you don't agree with, rather than the Creator. How dare we? The God of the universe created us. He created each one of us perfectly in His image. Yeah, sin entered into our lives in the Garden of Eden, but God, in all His wisdom, had already prepared a way for us to get back into relationship with Him through the blood of Jesus. Now, many of my relatives, many of my family, most of my family are Christians, and their mouths are where all this was coming from. My mouth is where this was coming from. I'm not sinless, and I'm ashamed. Those of us who choose to live the godless and unrighteous life of criticism and anger are focusing more on the created rather than the Creator. Anytime we think we're better than anyone else, or that we don't see the good in people and only see what they're doing wrong, we are allowing Satan to run rampant in our minds. It doesn't matter if it's idle chit-chat at the family table or around the family table, or if it's a protest march against what other people feel, look like, do. Our responsibility is to love. And love, God calls us to pray, not talk about. Matthew 22:36-40 says, "Teacher, what command in the law is the greatest?" And he, Jesus, said to him, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and most important command." Now I'm going to interject a little something here before we go on. If we're doing that, all of our soul, every little space in our soul, in our heart, in our minds is full of God. It's full of His love. It's full of His Spirit. Now the rest of that verse is, the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your sister as yourself. Love your brother as yourself. Love your aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa. Love them as much as you love yourself. And if you're God's child, you have every right to love yourself. And the thing is, all the law of the prophets depend on those two commands. Everything that God does is built around loving Him first, then also loving others. I'm getting ready to go upstairs and eat Thanksgiving dinner with my family, and I can't wait. I thoroughly enjoyed being with my daughter-in-law this year and my son, and we were all working in the kitchen. It was such a blessing, such a beautiful, beautiful blessing. As we start to offer a blessing around our Thanksgiving table today, think about it. Maybe we should also go around the table and take turns confessing and seeking Jesus' presence to join us. I love all of you, and I thank you for inviting me into your home. Don't forget, if you want to contact me, if you have comments, feel free to look up heartnotesoflife.com. And have a blessed and happy Thanksgiving in Jesus' love.